I am a big French toast fan. Growing up, it was an absolute staple in my house because, of course, it was really simple to prepare and it's made with ingredients you almost always have on hand. All it takes is a little bread, some eggs, and some milk, and what you end up with is a breakfast that is filling and comforting and, of course, super delicious. So today, I thought it would be fun to show you 3 tasty twists on classic French toast that you may not have thought of. We're gonna get started today with some amazing French toast muffins. These have all the awesomeness of French toast, but all the portability of a muffin. What's not to like about that? These tasty muffins all start with some lovely French bread. All I've done is cut it into half-inch cubes and then transferred it into a zipper bag. Then I'm just going to prepare a simple egg mixture. All I'm going to do is combine some eggs with some milk, a little bit of maple syrup for sweetness, and some cinnamon. Now, if you don't have maple syrup on hand, not to worry, you could definitely add a little bit of white sugar or brown sugar to this. Those would both work just as well. We're going to whisk all of this up until it's nice and smooth, and then we're going to pour this mixture into the bag with our bread. The drier your bread, the better it absorbs all of the eggy goodness. So I'm just putting it out there. I'm going to close the bag and then shake it up until all of the bread is evenly coated. Then I'm going to let this sit in the refrigerator for at least an hour, but overnight is ideal. When it's time to bake my muffins, I'm simply going to transfer my mixture into a well-greased muffin tin. Take my word for this one, there's lots of nice sugar in here now. It's gonna wanna stick. And then into the oven it goes at 350 degrees for between 20 and 25 minutes. These muffins are delicious all on their own. But if you want to take them to the next level, I highly recommend giving my maple glaze a try. It's really as simple as mixing some powdered sugar with a splash of milk and a splash of maple syrup. All you need to do is whisk that all up, and then you can drizzle it over your muffins while they're still hot. These amazing muffins are basically like a combination of French toast and cinnamon rolls. They're soft and chewy on the inside and nice and crispy on the outside. I promise you, you will not regret making them. Next up today, I've got a twist on French toast that will take you right back to your childhood. They're my PB&J French toast roll-ups, and they all start with some PB and some J. We're going to start by mixing our PB and our J. I'm a purist, so I'm using grape jelly here, but you can go ahead and use any kind of jam or jelly you like. While you may be tempted to use something fancier, the best bread for this job is classic sandwich bread. In this case, I'm using whole wheat, but you could go ahead and use white if you wanted to. So I'm simply going to use a sharp serrated bread knife to remove the crust from my bread, and then I'm going to roll each piece out using my rolling pin. Then I'm simply going to spread my PB&J mixture over each piece of bread and create my roll-ups. You can do the same thing with Nutella as a filling, with some strawberries would be amazing. Now that all of my roll-ups are prepared, I'm going to get to work on creating my egg mixture. Once again, it's as simple as mixing some eggs with some milk and giving it all a good whisk. Now it's time to get these babies in a frying pan. So I've got my frying pan heating up on the stove, and to that I'm going to add a nice pat of butter. Once my butter is nice and melted, I'm going to dip each of my rolls into my egg mixture, and then into the pan they go. I really like to rotate them a few times during cooking to make sure they're nice and crispy on all the edges. And then if you want to make these extra special, I've got some cinnamon sugar happening here, and then put them on a plate because he's ready to be enjoyed. How fun are these for like a kid's birthday party? And by a kid, I mean a grown-up's birthday party, of course. I highly recommend serving them with a nice cold glass of milk. Finally today, we're taking things right over the top with some strawberry cheesecake French toast. Now, this recipe is pretty decadent and I would say perfect for a special brunch. It all starts by creating some lovely strawberry cheesecake filling. And to do that, all I'm going to do is combine some room temperature cream cheese with some finely diced strawberries and a splash of vanilla in my stand mixer. I'm going to mix it all up until it's nice and fluffy, and then I'm going to set it aside and get to work on my bread. For this recipe, I'm using this gorgeous sourdough loaf. You can go ahead and use whatever kind of bread you like, but this stuff was totally calling my name at the grocery store, so I went for it. Using a very sharp bread knife, I'm going to start by slicing off a few thick pieces. I'm looking for pieces that are about 1.5 inches thick because what I'm going to do is use a smaller serrated knife to cut a little pocket into the center. That, my friends, is where my strawberry cheesecake filling is going to go. And we are just going to feed this filling to our bread. And then I'm going to get to work on creating my egg mixture. Since this is a bit of a decadent treat, instead of milk, we are using some cream. I'm also going to add a little splash of vanilla because of course vanilla is such a lovely complement to strawberry. We're going to whisk all of this up until it's nice and smooth, and then it's time to take these to the stove. I've got a frying pan heating up over medium heat. I'm going to melt some butter in my pan and then dip my bread into my egg mixture. Into the pan it goes, and I'm going to cook it on each side until it's nice and evenly browned. Because these are so thick, you kind of want to cook them low and slow to make sure they cook evenly. When they're ready, they are absolutely bursting with yummy flavor and of course, just begging to be drenched in lovely maple syrup. I like serving them with some super fresh strawberries and a big tall glass of OJ. All 3 of these recipes are total crowd pleasers, so I hope you will give them a try at home. If you do give them a try, don't forget to tweet or Instagram me a photo, because of course I love seeing your kitchen creations. And keep in mind that the full recipes are listed in the description box below, so you can take a look at them there. Now, if you're looking for more yummy brunch ideas, feel free to check out some of these videos. And don't forget to subscribe, because there's lots more deliciousness where this came from.